So they're also talking about WWE Released Carlito. Wow. I'm not shocked about it though. I'm not disappointed of them letting Carlito go. And Carlito was smart. I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why I think Carlito was smart to be in the position that he was in WWE before he got released, instead of just trying to be a full-time wrestler. Because Carlito have said it numerous times in interviews that he can't really perform the same way like he did when he was younger. And don't get me wrong, when Carlito was younger, when he first made his debut, it was against John Cena. He won his first United States champion against John Cena on SmackDown. Um, that Carlito, we'll never see that Carlito ever again, though. And Carlito was smart to kind of play like the manager role and be in the backstage segments and stuff like that. That was a pretty decent role for Carlito because Carlito didn't want to ruin his legacy. He doesn't want us to remember him as an old washed up guy that can't perform like he used to when he was younger. And Carlito played it very smart. He played it very smart not to get back into the WWE ring. He said, "Hey, I'll come back to WWE, but I'm not going to be a full time wrestler. You know what I'm saying? I'll take some bumps here and there, or I'll be in wrestlers' corner like a manager, or I'll do backstage segments." And that was a pretty decent role for Carlito because Carlito did not want to come back as a full time wrestler and screw up his legacy. So yeah, Carlito was smart not to get back into the ring in WWE. He was smart not to be a full time wrestler because he does not want his fans out there to remember him as an old washed up Carlito. So no, I'm not upset that WWE released Carlito, and I'm not upset to the fact that because a lot of people say, "Oh, they should have given Carlito an opportunity in WWE and this and that." For what? Carlito pretty much had a decent career when he was younger. He's had a pretty okay, decent career in WWE. Why would he want to come back and not perform on the same level as he did when he was younger? So Carlito played it smart when he came back to the WWE and told Triple H and them that, yeah, I'll wrestle a few matches here and there, but I'm not going to come back as a full-time wrestler because I can't perform the same way like I used to. And I can respect that from Carlito. I can respect that. So Carlito will be fine, people. He will be okay. Way before Carlito came back to the WWE, Carlito was appearing on a few indie shows. You know what I'm saying? Carlito would do okay. He'll appear on a few indies and do a few wrestling matches here and there. You know what I'm saying? Carlito will be all right, people. I wouldn't worry about Carlito. You know what I'm saying? Losing Carlito is not a big loss, people. It's not, Carlito getting released is not a big loss to the WWE. It's really not. Okay? So, yeah, I mean, I don't blame WWE for getting rid of Carlito because, the guy's not doing nothing because he can't perform the same way. So why keep a guy like that around? Well, Carlito could be like a manager and this and that. I'm going to be honest with you. They brought Carlito back at the wrong time, though. I think the best time when they should have brought Carlito back is when Primo and Epo, Carlito's cousins, they should have brought Carlito back by then because I remember when Primo and Epo they was doing the bull gimmick and they was doing like a ridiculous bull gimmick back in the PG era, and it was like terrible. But then when they lost the bull gimmick and they went back being something else, like talking about take a trip to Puerto Rico, that was the perfect opportunity to bring Carlito back then because I felt like Primo and Epo was missing something. And I said they need to bring Carlito back to fill that void in. But they never brought Carlito back though. They never brought him back. And I felt like that was the perfect timing to bring Carlito back was to team him up with Primo and Epo, team up with his cousins. But they never did. They never brought him back for that, you know. So yeah, I wouldn't feel bad about Carlito being released in the WWE. I wouldn't feel bad, people. Carlito will be fine. So it is what it is, people. I'm glad Carlito did decide to finally come back to the WWE. I'm glad that Carlito didn't ruin his legacy when he came back. So I'll always remember Carlito for what he did when he was younger, when he first debuted. So yeah, I'm glad he didn't mess up his legacy. I'm glad Carlito just kind of stayed out of the ring and, you know, did a few things, you know, did some funny backstage segments. And that was a good role for him, you know what I'm saying? I don't have a problem with that. But it's gonna suck not seeing Carlito though. But I mean, to really think about it, people, what was Carlito really doing besides backstage segment, helping Dominic out? I mean, he wasn't really doing much. I mean, yes, he was taking bumps here and there, but he wasn't really doing anything though. So it is what it is though. Anyway, peace.